Hey there, quick reminder to all the new subscribers that we're still in our $300 3-bedroom, 2-bath, mostly furnished. We've been abroad 10 years, never paid more than $300 or $400 for 3 and 4 bedroom houses and apartments, furnished and unfurnished, the whole time we've been abroad. Pretty amazing fact. There's a lot going on in that space. Today we're going to talk about the idea of retire early expat life and how has that played out over 10 years. Well, we have amazing weather here in Cuenca, Ecuador. It's finally sunny 2-3 days in a row. You know, it comes down to if you can have really good weather, if you can have cheap living, and if you can have a peaceful existence. I mean, that's a dream come true, right? Great weather, cheap living, and a peaceful existence. So we've had that. We've had that for a long time. And it was Mark Twain that said that 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did do. And that's the kind of sayings that a lot of times help motivate people. And I know that it was one of the sayings that before we even went abroad that we were focusing on, and that came to light for us, that really lit up the fire in our spirit, so to speak. I've talked about things on our bucket list before. We wanted to have great weather, we wanted to have an economical existence, and have a peaceful life. So those are great things to achieve, and we're doing that every single day. And then there's another one that really grabs me, and that's the world is a book, and those that do not travel read only one page. And don't take that wrong if you haven't traveled yet. I know that we were aspiring travelers back in the day, and that's another aspect of it. We didn't just go somewhere, and although we're a family, so we're not as nomadic as a lot of people, we wanted to do a lot of travel, and we've enjoyed every bit of it. So what haven't we done? Well, we haven't lived on a boat. We did live in a travel trailer. We've traveled all over the United States in a travel trailer. We lived on the beach, toes in the sand. We've gone abroad and done the same thing. We've traveled around the world. All these wonderful things that what would appear to be like a normal life where you can achieve the things that you want to do in life. And this channel's always been about a can-do attitude. You know, don't put any barriers in front of yourself. Have a can-do attitude. Make things happen. And a lot of that is price. I mean, price has a lot to do with the ability, financial ability to do things and how soon you can do them. I mean, you know, if you have to pay $1,000 a month in rent, or if you're paying $200 or $300 a month in rent, it's a huge difference, okay? For a lot of people, it means being able to live the retire early lifestyle even sooner, which is what we did. We did the retire. We have been living the retire early, what we refer to as the retire early lifestyle, which really means living a balanced life while achieving your dreams and, you know, crossing things off of your bucket list. To me, that's what retire early lifestyle is. You know, what's retire early lifestyle to you? I mean, it can mean different things to different people, obviously. But something has changed in the last year, and it saddens me to have to discuss this. Once again, I know that I've brought things up before, but I just want to show you the difference between locations, because there's a guy in the comments that said, when I was talking about the airline tickets that we were defrauded from Alitalia Airlines, 4 people, we were defrauded by the Italian airline, nationally owned airline, and we still haven't received a refund from the Polish airlines. All of that was starting from last year in Europe. There's a lot of things going on in Europe. There's a lot of things going on in South America, and I'll get to that in a second. But I was talking about all that fraud that was going on, and somebody said, well, don't let it get you down. Don't let it dampen your spirit for travel and this kind of thing. And I reflect on that comment and think, and I know, and this is not about what side of this you're on. What I'd like to do is encourage you to kind of step out of your own shoes and look beyond your own personal understanding and belief, and kind of take a step back and look at the bigger picture. And the bigger picture looks like this over here. This is from North America, and it says Kristi Noem, which is governor of South Dakota, vows to fight Biden administration's proposed passports. And another headline reads, Steve Hilton blasts unprecedented Democratic push for passports. Now again, this is whether you're on that side or this side, just be patient and I'll get to my point here. Here's another headline. This is all from North America. Ohio lawmakers quickly introduce bill to stop passports. Okay, and then Florida governor shoots down the idea of vaccine passports, and his reasoning is pitch perfect. Florida governor held a press conference after signing a bill to protect businesses from liability relating to, and also said he would be taking executive action to prohibit passports in the state of Florida. Now follow me on this. We are not supporting doing any vaccine passports in the state of Florida. We've always said we want to provide it for all, right? But to mandate it for none. So now with something like this that while it was advised for people to take it, if you're vulnerable to illness, it was advising, a suggestion, we are not going to force you to do it. So there was never under any discussion, any mandate to take. We will not have that are mandatory in the state of Florida. The flip side of that is that with these passports, it's completely unacceptable for either the government or the private sector to impose upon you the requirement that you show proof of to just simply be able to participate in normal society. I've always said that it's not the government or private industry's job to force people to do anything. You want to go to a movie theater, should you have to show that? No. You want to go to a game? No. You want to go to a theme park? No. You shouldn't have to show that. So we're not supportive of that. I think it's something people have certain freedoms and individual liberties to make decisions for themselves. And so that's what being an adult means, making your own decisions and taking your own responsibility. This is why constitutions are written, so that when things like this come about, where people lose their sense of direction, societies don't just flush themselves down the drain. So you're going to do this, and then what? Give all this information to some big corporation? You want the fox to guard the hen house? I mean, give me a break. And this is the governor of Florida. I think that this has huge privacy implications. It's not necessary to do, and it isn't. I agree. So he says, we're not going to have you provide proof of this just so you can be able to live your life normally. And I'm going to be taking some action. So this is not just idle words. I'm going to be taking some action in an executive function, in an emergency function here shortly. And he's going to make it so that this does not come about. So it looks like he does have an interest in liberty and truth and freedom and self-determination, which, by the way, the Ecuadorian Constitution expressly protects the individual against encroachment against their own individual self-determination in both health matters and religious matters. I said that for a reason. I'll tell you in a second. This is again the Florida governor being quoted. A primary role of government is to prevent your rights from being infringed. Bingo, bingo. Primary role of government is to prevent your rights from being infringed. This obligation includes protecting freedom of association and movement. It may be near a religious thing in some right-wing circles to say that private businesses can do whatever they want. It's like some kind of religion to say such a thing in some right-wing circles. But this is simply not the case. When a private company seeks to interfere with your inalienable rights, it is incumbent upon the government to step in, and Governor of Florida, legislature have already protected businesses from liability and legislation signed today. Now here's somebody that's actually on the ball. And so what is he saying? He's saying 3.5 million seniors have already taken, and it's all good and well. They want to let them have the, but this other side of the story, this is just totally, well, he's already said everything. It is up to individuals to engage in activities they feel are safe using rational decision making based on their status, risk, or recovered status. It's all personal self-determination. This argument about government responsibility to intervene when individual rights are in jeopardy from private business is an argument for intervention with the tech monopolies as well. Yes. So the government has already vowed to take on censorship from these tech monopolies on behalf of Floridians. What an amazing thing to be happening, as you'll see in a second. I'm getting to it. Unless conservatives want to have to build an entire civilization in parallel to the one we already have, right? The perspective on the government's obligation to protect our God-given rights from actors in the private sector needs to change. Let me say it again. Unless conservatives want to have to build an entire civilization in parallel, right? Because you're trying to tell, some people want everybody to do it this way, but you got these other people here that are separate from that. The perspective on the government's obligation to protect our God-given rights from actors in the private sector needs to change. And that's exactly what he's doing, this governor is doing, in order to protect our God-given rights. So the government is right on track, and more Republican-tied states need to follow his lead. And I say, I mean, this thing about Democrat, Republican, this is a divisive thing, meaning that it's about everyone's God-given rights, regardless of what political party they think they believe in. You know, it's the protection of everyone's God-given rights, and I would extend it to other countries. All other countries also should follow this lead. Good people within good government, with good government intervention, can stop this kind of thing. Global governments and liberal democracies are standing aside while private companies seek to interfere with your fundamental rights in a way the government simply cannot. And unless we demand that our government protect those rights, they will vanish, says the governor of Florida. He should be lauded and emulated on this front, according to this writer. On another note, I want to also tell you about this headline. Ex-Pfizer vice president says experimental could be used for massive scale depopulation. And then Florida man planning million maskless march. Florida man planning million maskless march and mask burning. Florida man is calling for 1 million people to mark a 1-year anniversary of mask tyranny in this Florida county. So the million maskless march will be held April 10th in this county. The protest is billed as a nonpartisan event and will also include mask burning, according to organizers. So that's what's going on over there, and I just wanted to bring the picture over here, what's happening. And as we're in Ecuador, we can use Ecuador as an example, but we could be also talking about just about all of the Latin American countries, because I have similar headlines from all over Latin America, which is a disappointment. But listen to this. This is in here in Azuay in Ecuador. The national COE recommends to the president here to decree a state of exception in 8 provinces, including Azuay. So the National Emergency Operation Committee resolved today to urge the president the declaration of a state of exception, which is just simply nice words for locking everybody down, focused on 8 provinces, which is all the main provinces. So we're waiting for the decision of the president, but these are the initial recommendations that they're wanting the president to decree, declare, dictate, declare a state of exception for 30 days, implement a curfew from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. And now it gets really serious. Prohibit social and family gatherings. Prohibit social and family gatherings. What were we saying earlier about the right to assemble? And family gatherings with people who are not from the same family circle. In addition to taking extreme precautions in older adults and people with pre-existing problems. Prohibit the sale and consumption of alcohol. Okay, listen to this. Reduce to 30% the capacity in shopping centers, restaurants, wakes, and religious ceremonies. Now they really like shutting down all of these, including religious ceremonies. They did it over on the Christmas, and they're now doing it in Easter. Here's some more from right here in Latin America. 3 cities in Ecuador will be illuminated this Sunday to commemorate Rare Disease Day. Oh my gosh. So we have one side of the coin, one discourse, one way to look at it, and then what we're seeing here is a complete opposite. So the idea is that you don't want, let's just make some assumptions. So let's just assume that everything that is being assumed is factual, or as it is assumed. So they're saying that in order to not kill people from they're going to kill their livelihood, which is a way of killing people. If you kill people's livelihood, you killed them. If you destroy their livelihood, you killed them. We live in a material world, and we require material livelihood. It's not a preference, it's a necessity. People need their livelihood, and when you shut them down, you're killing them. You kill their livelihood, you kill them. So can you say that you're trying to prevent people from dying from something by killing them, by killing their livelihood? Can you really say that? Not to mention that the Ecuadorian Supreme Court has already stated, which even if they didn't state this, it's already present in the Constitution, that these rights are protected by the Constitution. But the Supreme Court has stated that these dictates are unconstitutional. They are unconstitutional even here in Ecuador. The reason I'm making this video is that people think that if they're on either this side or that side, they say, well, if I want to take, that's fine, you have a right to do so. So what I'm saying here, that regardless of what side of this you believe, there's more to it than just our own, belief system of whether this is right or wrong, because this is going way beyond that. This is going into everybody's livelihood of this, for example, the city or the country that I live in, that I moved to, that I have family in. And so this is not about whether I personally believe in or tests, or it has nothing to do with that. Whether I believe or don't believe, the bottom line is that the way this is being handled is in such a way that it will be destroying the people's livelihood, and it will be destroying the local economy. And regardless of what my bucket list is and what my travel plans are and what my enjoyment of the wonderful weather, I'm going to be in the middle of a scenario where Ecuadorians are already not doing very good financially, and this is just pushing it even further. So I'm saying that to say that there's a huge difference. I see a huge difference, and I know that not all of the governors in North America take that position, but at least there are some people within government in North America that want to do what's right by the people within government. And I hope and pray, and I pray for Ecuadorians and the Ecuadorian government, that somebody within the Ecuadorian government does the right thing for their people, because I too live here, and I have family here, and I have granddaughters here, and I have daughters-in-laws here, and all kind of Ecuadorian families here. So for me to just sit here and make videos, la-di-da videos about look at how great the weather is just not consistent with the kind of person that I am. So I hope that you understand that I'm trying to give you a picture of what is actually happening, because this is not just Ecuador. It's just about almost, not all, but almost all the Latin countries. Bolivia just is closing. They're saying they want to close their borders because they want to shut out the new variant from Brazil. You know, it's just craziness going on in all the world. But I wanted to encourage you to see that there's a glimmer of light and a glimmer of hope. And all it takes is for good people to do right and for right to prevail. Thanks for staying with me on the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And thank you very much. Have a nice day.